Hello. Hi. It's been a minute since I've been live, and that's because I spent my long Labor Day weekend sick slash recovering from being sick. I guess a month of not eating great, garbage sleep, and other stuff. As soon as I had a few days off, my body was like, "We're resting." I was like, "Okay." And then us also, like, it was a few cold nights that triggered my allergies. I remember there was a point in time where I got bronchitis every time the seasons changed. When I'm rested and hydrated, it doesn't happen. I was not rested. I was very poorly hydrated, and it happened. Hey, Holly, how you doing? And work has been intense. I'm like, oh my gosh, but it's over. Another 4 days off. And you can see boxes this time. Those are the boxes that ended the stream last time. I got up to move the boxes and then the audio cut, and I was just like, it's a wash. But today is a very special Virgo's birthday. Yesterday was a different very special Virgo's birthday. The day before was the day before was another very special Virgo's birthday. And a few days before that, yet another very special Virgo's birthday. Whoop, 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 whoop. Hey, Holly. Hey, Sandra. How are y'all doing today? I am here. I don't know, there's something interesting is going on. Specifically within the past, when was Friday? No, Thursday. Well, yeah, I guess, within the past few days. Excuse me. I feel like Venus is comfortably direct again, or I am comfortable with Venus being direct again. We are not sponsored by our usual non-sponsor, drinking the usual drink. How are y'all doing? Did I ask? So I feel like lately, every time I try to like read, or not every time I try to, I feel like there's been a lot of messages about us being authentically who we are. Even like when I read at the last psychic fair, I was only there for a little bit. Um, but it seemed like it was a lot of like, just like, this is who you are as a person. Um, it was like with one person, it was like, this is what you've been through, this is what you've experienced. Know that that doesn't define you, and it has no bearing on who you are or your worth or your value. And then for someone else, it was very like, you are Aquarius, let's just say. You are Aquarius, and that's a gift to the world. Don't ever change. Um, I don't know if it was also on here, if there was one of the zodiacs that got a transformation that was like that. Was it Capricorn? I think it was Capricorn, actually. It was in the energy of Capricorn's transformation where it was like, well, Capricorn felt a pressure that like someone was depending on them. Um, or that like it read as a pressure, but it also kind of felt like there may have been some truth to it. Anyway, it's been a lot of like, just be you. The best thing you can do to prepare or be ready or to whatever is to be you. And it's I feel like it's been a lot of that. So today, excuse me, not saying that anything different is going to happen or come out, but I've been seeing a lot of Celtic crosses on the internet. Well, I've been seeing the usual amount of Celtic crosses. But for some reason, I'm like, oh, I want to do a Celtic cross now. But except I'm not. I'm going to use the Wild Unknown Alchemy because I was thinking about, again, like how every time I've been pulling cards lately, it seems like it's been about who we are as like people, basically, rather than anything sort of coming up or happening specifically. Um, Number 15. That's interesting. I'm using the Wild Unknown Alchemy to get a general energy. And then I'm going to pull a hindering Wild Unknown archetype and a helping Wild Unknown archetype. And both may be present at the same time. And then we'll go from there. I don't think this is my card. It's not my card. It just popped out. Okay. That was for me. What was it, you ask? You'll never know. All right. So for the collective, I was definitely up at 3:30 this morning. I was working. Excuse me, it's so early over there. Okay. All right, I've already shuffled the Wild Unknown archetypes. Should I get the archetypes first? Yep, because I'm feeling chaotic. I don't even like what's going on in the collective. I don't know. I feel like one of the things I was going to make a post about it. I feel like there's an energy of very broadly, or maybe for me personally, especially within the last few days, there's been an energy of a quiet and subtle surrendering / acceptance, um, but also like a little bit of recontextualization, but also I don't even know what I would call that. Um, Not relief. Quiet but subtle Ten of Swords. Oof. Actually, pretty accurate. Hey, Kathy, how you doing today? Your birthday is coming up. You're a Virgo. I know you're a Virgo. It's not like the 20 something. Oh, it is the 20 something. Okay. The 21st. I was like, all right. And then we'll be in Libra season. You can tell that Libra season is coming because the sun doesn't rise as early as it used to. And it's starting to set earlier than it used to as well. Things get dark around Libra season. Well, because it's the equinox. So, all right. Okay. But yeah, it's been a very it's been interesting. Wow. Maybe I should just do a self read. Maybe I'll do that after this. All right. For the collective, let me breathe. I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to breathe. And then we're going to try to do this for the collective. All right. So, what is hindering? What is helping? The hindrance is like immediately just like, I did this. Like literally the very first one, and the cards just fell out. I guess we'll look at it. This is interesting. Well, I guess it isn't. So what's hindering is number 55, the vision. And number 65, the prayer. And number 2, the Father. So the archetypes of the vision, the prayer, and the Father are hindering, which is interesting. Now, what is helping? What's hindering is number 55. What's helping is number 54, the vow. I didn't talk about it on this channel. I had a dream question mark. I had a thought. Y'all know, like no, it was a dream. I had a dream that I was doing a reading on an incoming energy, or there was something that was happening. I don't even remember. And I was doing the reading, and it was a 3-card spread. The first card was like, if we see it, I think, or what, like if we're even aware of it. The second card, I already forgot. Darn it. Was like what we can do with it. And I don't remember what the third card is at all because I didn't make it that far in the dream. The first card that came, like for the first card, like the moon came out. It's like, are we aware of it? The moon. I was like, okay. And it felt like those who see it, and those who don't. It's like it's so subtle that it's more felt than seen by anyone. And then in like the second spot, a whole bunch of cards fell out. And I was about to be like, oh, this is too many cards. But I was like, oh, I'll read them. And I ended up reading them in pairs. The last pair that I remember was the 3 of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles. So for some reason, the vision, the prayer, and the Father is giving me that 3 of Swords, Knight of Pentacles energy. I think it's mostly the vision being a hindrance. But it seemed helpful. I don't know. Anyway, I had that dream a few nights ago. I've slept and not slept since then. What's helping is the vow. Bottom of the deck is the mother. Interesting. The mother's at the bottom of the deck. The father is a hindrance. What's behind the mother? I'm curious. The shapeshifter. Got it. So if I had to guess, what alchemical process would be between these two, I have no clue because I don't know the well-known alchemy like that. I know a handful of cards that I get fairly frequently. This is like, I feel like the Bruni, when I did the mythical creatures, it came out, and then I pulled the Spencer's tarot cards because it made me think, because there's a Bruni in there, and then when I used the Spencer's tarot cards, it came out, and it's been that energy too of like doing the work even when the rewards seem like they're not coming, or doing the work even if it seems like there is no reward, because we don't, well, we work to get paid. But it's like the work in and of itself is the reward, or the fruits of one's labor. It's like the progress that one makes. Ooh, my throat is getting dry. I'm feeling much better. I've been taking all of the over-the-counter medicines and drinking the orange juice and the water. Like, I was so poorly hydrated. It's ridiculous. But speaking of poor hydration, I'm actually going to go and grab something to drink now because my throat is already getting dry. I feel like the air is also getting really dry. That's another thing that'll get me. Cold mornings when it's been warm and dry air. Okay, I'll be back. Sorry for the interruption, but not sorry enough that I'm not going to go and grab something to drink. Oof. There's also been like so many subtle, not subtle differences, like just the differences between like my jobs. Like, for example, the last company I worked for was a manufacturing plant that made personal care products. But like they had multiple clients, and a lot of the clients like didn't want, it's like we couldn't tell people what was like made there or who, um yeah, basically, for whatever reason, confidentiality. And especially like when you make products for multiple companies, well, I'm sure like they would visit, like they would know. Anyway, for some reason, companies didn't want people to know where their products were manufactured. And so it was like, obviously you can't post anything to social media. Obviously, I mean, I talk about work, but I don't like whatever, right? And now I work for a company that it's like, and I've already mentioned before, like at the last place, we could buy some of the stuff sometimes, but we weren't allowed to take anything. They give stuff away where I'm at now. They give stuff away to the community. And there are people who get, like, it's a completely different vibe. But for some reason, that stuck out to me. I feel like my throat is dry. This also isn't water, if you can tell. But yeah, I mean, like the company I work at now, we make what we produce, like, right? Like if I worked for Purina, you wouldn't be surprised that I make dog food. You know what I mean? But the company I worked at before was, I guess, contracted by different companies. So then that's like the difference. Let's see what the Snapple fact is. I'm just here today. I'm just here. Yes, Steph did. So I guess I didn't. Kirsty is the special Virgo of today. Steph is yesterday's special Virgo. My best friend is the day before that special Virgo. And then Eve is the few days before that special Virgo. And then my other best friend was like a week before that special Virgo. And my coworker is a few days before that special Virgo. And then the day after that, or a few days after that, was my half birthday. Who? But yeah, I don't know. It's been a lot of like little things, kind of. Let's see. Oh, it's upside down. The brain operates on the same amount of power as a 10-watt light bulb. Real fact number 786. There you go. If you hooked your brain up to a thing, it would only be able to power 10 watts. Not very bright. I'm kidding. And that's all of our brains, okay? I wonder if, like, people with. Anyway, it's fine. Yeah, it's been an interesting few days. Anyway, my mantra, because like work this week has been rough. It's been real rough. Like so much. And I came into work. Well, that was the second night because the first night was rough. And then I came in on the second night and it was like extra work on top of the extra work. And some of the extra work on top of the extra work wasn't even my job. And I'm like, I'm working, I'm going about my stuff all like, oh, this sucks. And then after about an hour or 2 hours, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to embrace the suck. This week has been about embracing the suck because complaining about it doesn't make it any easier. And when I just accept it, then it's like I can better flow between all of the things that I have to do. So, yeah. And then the third night could have been worse. It was still, yeah, the third night was like really busy. But with my embrace the suck attitude, it actually wasn't too terrible. It's like I can only do what I can do, you know? And then last night was actually decent until some stuff started happening, but it was all right. I also had some weird dreams, but my weird dreams were like, "Hey, Steph, I was thinking about you last night after I replied to your comment, and just how like I'm glad that like you're not grieving alone, like in Florida. you know, that you get to be with like family and, not out there in the elements all on your own. So it doesn't necessarily help much, but, you know, it's a little bit more peace of mind as compared to, like, again, you being out there and who knows what's happening with the elements and everything else at the same time on top of your loss. But I'm glad to see you here. I hope a bit of time will do you a little good or just like provide some comfort. Um, but yeah, Embrace the Suck has been, I think, another thing that I've noticed going back to subtleties, and maybe that's like the moon and all of those other cards in that dream. Dreams have been interesting. Specifically last night and the night before. Um, but I've been noticing that, like, there are some things that I want. And it's almost one of those like realizing and recognizing where the universe is providing, where the divine is providing, slash, where there already exists some of the things that I want in my life and appreciating them. Just being like more mindful and appreciative, embracing the suck and being grateful. Being grateful for the suck. Oh, yeah. That's gonna be that's gonna be a rough one. I still don't know. I should just pull this card. So what's hindering is the vision, the prayer, and the Father. What's helping is the vow. Maybe this is, yeah, I can imagine. Well, I guess I can. In part. My coworker said that she lost her dog over the long weekend of 16 years. I was like, oh my gosh. Because I was like, oh, hey, did you enjoy your long Labor Day weekend? She's like, my dog passed on Sunday. I've had her for 16 years. My kids grew up with her. I was like, oh my gosh. So when I say embrace the suck, like the suck in my life is like, I have to work when I go to work. That's the level of suck that I'm experiencing. I'm not experiencing loss and I'm not like grieving and I'm not one to make light of what other people are going through. So, like, all things sort of like relative, of course. Meaning it's easy for me to say, like, my thing has been embrace the suck because it's been relatively like not that sucky. Yeah. But sometimes when there's a lot of suck, it's a little more difficult to embrace with gratitude. Excuse me. Mm. What is it? I love these YouTube emojis. Is that like looking through? Like I can't look. Um, or is that a face palm? No, that's not a face palm. That's like looking through the. Excuse me. In the mountains of Romania. I wish this. I love this little heart. I can send hearts on my own stream. I can, but I can't see. I can't see the comment. You're blocking the comment. Ooh. Ooh. Excuse me. So the thing about the vow, I get this is the Bruni. This is why I haven't been here. Also, partially because I wasn't feeling well, and I slept so much, and I drank so much water. I need to keep it up. Well, I'm glad to hear it. We'll be entering Libra season soon, and it'll be Holly's birthday and Russ's birthday, and my best friend's birthday, and my cousin's birthday, and another special Libra's birthday, and I have another cousin who's a Libra, but she's a September Libra. Oh, my other cousin's birthday. He's also a September Libra. Okay. Excuse me. So the vow feels like things that are like what's helping is basically like doing the work. It's showing up every day. It's like because the vow it feels more. It feels like more than a promise. Like the vow feels like a commitment that is upheld every day, more than every day, every second, every moment, right? And then what's hindering is the vision, is the prayer. It's like it's things of non-substantive movement. And also with the father, it feels like a lot of control. It's like trying to exert a lot of control or gain control without putting in any action, or it feels like it's trying to like delegate and it's hindering rather than helping. What's helping is the vow, is not only the promise, but the commitment to the fulfillment of that promise. So if I had to guess an alchemical process, I'd guess it's something that's related to like the work or doing the work more than the vision that we like aim for or try to shoot for or try to manifest, more than the thoughts and the prayers of things that we hope for, but like maybe don't really pursue. And the father is just like it's reading as control. Holly's twins are also September Libras. My throat is like, is there a throat chakra alchemy card? I don't think the throat chakra, I don't want to say it wouldn't be helpful. Feels like the throat chakra would fall onto the hindrance side just because maybe the prayer with the vision. And maybe that's because like the mountain is here in the vision. And it's like it's not necessarily as helpful when we're this far removed from it. I don't know. We'll see. What is the alchemy? The alchemical phase. Oh. Am I Am I taking this? No. If it comes out, I'll take it. If it comes out, that'll be interesting because that will basically be, it's fine. All right. What is the alchemical process? And sitting in between the hindrance of the vision, the prayer, and the Father, and the help of the vow. What's interesting is, though, like it feels like the vision, the prayer, and the Father would be, it feels like they're energies that we would think would be helpful. Because it's like, it's very like manifesty. It's very like take control of fate or whatever, but it's actually hindering rather than helping. Maybe this could also be an energy that's almost a little bit like, when you ask someone for something, this makes me think of my mom. Like my mom will say, like, she'll be like, oh yeah, we'll go and do this. And I'll be like, hey, like, are we still going to do that? Like, hey, are we like, whatever? Like, hey, are you is this a thing? And she's like, what? Oh, my throat's so dry. I would say happy early birthday, but it doesn't sound like you want that. I hope school's going well for you, though. How you doing, Kilua? Like maybe it's too involved. Like with the vision, the prayer, and the Father, like it's constantly like remanifesting things that have already been manifested. And the vow being the help is like, know that it is coming, know that it is promised, and quit constantly checking in on it. A watched pot never boils. There you go. It's very much like a watched pot never boils, and it's annoying the chef. Like maybe you should have started cooking before you got hungry. Like it takes the food as long to cook as it takes to cook, regardless of if you're hungry or if you're starving, if you're famished, if you're already full. It's going to take the food as long to cook as it's going to take to cook. Maybe that's like the embrace the suck a little bit. Like it is what it is. And wishing that it would be something different, complaining about it not being what it isn't. Like all of those things aren't helpful. They're hindrances. And then with the vow, it's like when we know and when we can trust and believe. This came out a while ago. Man, I want to go live for like hours and just like keep pulling cards, but my throat is like, maybe I should have got water. It's just like dry. Oh, I have lozenges. 1 second. I'm going to go grab a lozenge. I will be right back. I'm trying everything. There we go. Let's see if the lozenge helps lubricate this dry throat. Oh, I should have used the other one. I should have, because that one's like, no, it is this one. It's the menthol. Maybe, I don't know. Well, I'm 5 years older than you, Holly. Okay. What was I talking about? I don't even remember what I was talking about. I remember like it was the wash pot that never boils. Yeah. Maybe I was still talking about that. It was a thing a few months ago where it was like, can you believe that the things that you've prayed for and that you're manifesting are already like the pathway, the gateway of the 3Dification of the thing that you're manifesting? Like it's actively being assembled in real time in your life right now. Ooh, okay. You'll have to let us know. See ya. Maybe that's what I was saying. All right. What is the alchemy here? Alchemist. That's a thing, right? Is that a thing? It's a planet. This is interesting. Oh, this card is at the bottom of the deck again. So it didn't come out, but it is at the bottom of the deck again. This is a card. I may have seen it. Maybe. I don't think I've ever seen this card, actually, honestly. Bottom of the deck is number 62, which is an 8. The card that came out is number 8. Maybe I'll pull a from the card. Nah. Well, we'll see. We'll see where this goes. The card that came out is Uranus. So what's helping Uranus is the vow. What's hindering Uranus is the vision, the prayer, and the Father. Uranus is in Taurus right now. So it's interesting because Uranus is in Taurus, and people say that Uranus hates being in Taurus because Taurus is fixed Earth, and if there's anything that Uranus wants to do, it's not being fixed anything, even though it rules fixed air. But I guess air is still air, but it's like fixed. But Uranus in fixed Earth is like plowing and tilling land. It's like breaking up the crust to make it, to like aerate it and to make it capable of like taking seed and all kinds of stuff. Like Earth has to be broken in order for potentialities to be seeded, to be planted. You have to break open the earth to plant anything. You can't set, well, some seeds you sit on, you probably could, but like, at least in this analogy, I can't speak for all plants, but you have to break the earth to plant the seed, to get the tree, to get the corn, to get whatever, anything. So I don't think Uranus abhors Taurus. If anything, I think Uranus would love being in a fixed sign because that's where it gets to be at its most. Like if you put Uranus in a mutable sign, like it's already mutable, right? Like Uranus being a planet that's also associated with like change and revolution. Like when things change, or when change comes to a thing, like usually they are fixed, usually they are stagnant, usually they are established. It's like if someone's life is constantly in chaos and nothing is rooted and everything is always a whirlwind, like what's one more piece of paper or whatever that's blowing in the storm that's already there? Right? Like Uranus and Taurus is the bull in the china shop. It's the person who goes to the rage room, right? You go to the rage room because you want to break stuff. Anyway, it's an opportunity for Uranus to be at its best, honestly, because it has the most opportunity to do so. Anyway, that tangent aside, I mean, it's not really a tangent. Well, I guess it kind of is. Not really. I think what's interesting about this is it makes me think of the age of Aquarius. Uranus rules Aquarius. But again, it makes me think of the age of Aquarius and how there are a million and one different things that the age of Aquarius is supposed to be. I think like that's why the vision is a hindrance, because it's almost like we're less resistant, we're more resistant, sorry. We're less capable of allowing it to be whatever it is. Almost like the parent who has the child that they want to be the perfect whatever, who can very easily be the parent that doesn't allow their child to become whoever it is for that child to become. It's the parent that forces a path onto their child, regardless of the child's happiness, or if the child wants it or not. The vision is a hindrance. The father stands in between the vision and the prayer. You can see it in the colors of the card. See how on this side it's this, the black and white. And then it's all like the colors on this side. So because of that, it's given a little bit of Hierophant energy. But I think it's about establishments more so than anything. Welcome back. I don't think this lozenge is helping. I mean, it's providing minimal alleviation. My throat still feels dry. There's something about there's something about the dove heading to all of these dark moons. All of the moons on this card are dark. This isn't a moon. This is some kind of stone. But like the dove heading for the dark moons, it's given like giving open vessel energy. Like they're open to allowing the experience to be whatever it is. And it's almost like it can be as simple as like when our manifestations have to come in a certain way, then it makes it easier. It's like if we're attached to the vision or the prayer to the point where it's like the manifestations, it's like I feel like as a person, someone could be a lot, they could feel, someone could feel really open and accepting to something manifesting. But it's like they only see it in a very particular way. And so it isn't necessarily that they're not accepting of the manifestation. It's almost like they don't even recognize it. They wouldn't recognize it or realize that something is being manifested because it's not coming in a medium that is like familiar to them. It's almost very like that guy who drowned in the flood and then he gets to heaven and he's like, what gives? Like, excuse me. I gotta get rid of this mucus. I'll be right back. I popped a Mucinex. I popped a Mucinex before this video, so we're getting it out. All right, what am I talking about? Termination dust. Ooh. Me neither. I am so excited for the coolness. So yeah, like it feels like the vision and the prayer. One second, I'll be back. All right. I didn't have enough water to keep a carnival goldfish alive. I gotta refill my filter. I should have did it yesterday, but it's fine. So anyway, it's like because of the vision and the prayer, because of how fixed we are to a specific vision, because of the answering of a specific prayer, um, it's like it can make it easy to miss out on a manifestation. Like the guy that drowned. He's like, it's raining and raining and raining, and there's the car, the Jeep, the boat, the helicopter, like literally so many avenues of rescue that came to the person praying to God to not drown. And then they drown, and then they get to heaven, and they're like, we sent the cars, the trucks, the Jeeps, the automobiles, the planes, the trains, the boats, the yachts. We answered your prayer like 15 million different times, and you rejected it every time, type of energy. And so maybe the vow being the help, it's like there's almost a bigger picture. It's like if we can keep the bigger picture in mind rather than getting into the specifics, because when we make a prayer, either it's like Nine of Cups where we think we know what we need to get where we want to go, or it's the Star where it's like literally anything, anywhere but here. But a lot of times we ask for something like in our minds, there's a certain way that it can be resolved or whatever. Like we have an idea in mind of what we want. And again, like it feels like there isn't necessarily like a bad or a wrong. It's just an expansion of awareness that maybe the boat is the answer to the prayer. Like I don't know what that person was expecting. You know what I mean? But like that's the energy here. It's almost like a don't pass up your blessing or your miracle. Don't forfeit your miracle. Don't pass up your blessing. I mean, you can if you want it, right? But it's like that's an example where faith was actually like where faith worked against the person. And it only worked against the person because they were blind to the answer. Like their faith, the faith of the person in that story was strong enough to manifest rescue after rescue after rescue, opportunity after opportunity, escape after escape. They just were never aware enough to like take it or to see it and recognize it for what it was. Anyway, the card at the bottom of the deck is Rebus, which is the androgen. I don't think I've seen this card before. Rebus, the androgen. And what's interesting about the androgen is that we have the mother and the father at the bottom of the deck. And because the shapeshifter is behind the mother, it's like this is the same individual. There's a species of some animal whose gender is determined by the amount of heat or warmth that's present. And because temperatures are rising, the species is like becoming endangered because the heat is forcing a disproportionate number of one gender. I don't remember. They might be frogs. I don't remember. I saw the article. It was like because temperatures are rising, there's more and more and more and more of one gender, and you know, they're not one of those species that can asexually reproduce. They're not one of those ones that can like give birth to a clone. There's another, was it a snake that can do that? Yeah, it was a guy that had a snake in a cage and he was like, "Oh, my snake just laid eggs," but the eggs were empty. Anyway, the androgen. See, but the thing about the shapeshifter is it tends to like it's the mother becoming the father becoming the mother. It's still this one or the other, but the androgen has characteristics of both simultaneously. And I think that's a key difference to, I mean, it read like both. It didn't read like the masculine is becoming feminine and the feminine is becoming masculine. Like it's not a swapping of roles or whatever. Right? It's not Batman or Bruce Wayne. It's like Bruce Wayne and Batman in the same room at the same time. And you're like, but Bruce Wayne is Batman. How are they both here? Like that doesn't make sense. What's going on? Is the one behind the mask not Bruce Wayne? Because Bruce Wayne is right here. It's like, no, that's Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne under the mask and Bruce Wayne outside of the mask. Over the mask, I guess, under the mask. They're both present. And there's also a balance here. I was going to pull the Wild Unknown Tarot, but I didn't. I'm going to look before and after the spider. And I'm going to look before and after the Eight of Pentacles. The spider and the animal tarot, the Eight of Pentacles. Girl, my mission for this 4-day off rotation is to get my plates back in order. Virgo season had me like come in and start unpacking stuff, but then I had to close out my storage. I didn't have to, I wanted to. And so I cleared room to move more stuff in, to move more stuff than I cleared up. But this rotation, I'm going to get this taken care of. Honestly, it's just like it's finding a place for a lot of this stuff to go. Anyway, I say that because I got all these decks out. Now, this part is it's not laziness. It's just like they're all conveniently within reach. I don't have to go into the closet and open up a box and pull them out. All right. See you, Eve. Thanks for stopping by. Can't wait to see the readings. I feel like I always have to ask, when's the next time you're going to use the paint chips? Can I get a paint chip personal? I might do that. Honestly. Maybe I won't use these cards because I can't find them. I know I literally. Oh, hold up. No. Like, I feel like I literally just saw them or I just used them. Oh, it's literally been staring at me. I'm like, I know I just saw these cards. Yeah. Now, I might not use the animals because those I don't see. But they could also be in here. They aren't, but they could have been. What? Why are these up here? I put them back in a spot where they didn't used to belong. Okay. So we're going to see what this spider is about. I'll shuffle it. I will shuffle it a little bit. It a little bit. See, this stuff like this, or energies like this, is the reason why I leave title cards in the deck. I leave blank cards in the deck, and sometimes the High Priestess and the Queen of Cups is live life and find out. It's for cases where a little bit of information, incomplete information, or misinformation is actually incredibly not distracting, but it's like we'll completely miss it. And I guess it's interesting that I said, like, I've been feeling an energy of like recontextualization, or like there have been subtle recontextualizations, because like that's the thing about life. As we continue to live life, things, meanings deepen, grow, evolve, or fade. And so it's like there are things that you can understand when you're 25 that you don't have either the mental capacity or the lived experience when you're 5 years old to comprehend in the same way. Could be literally the exact same situation, the exact same sequence of events. Like everything plays out like watch a movie that you haven't seen since you were 5 years old and count the things that you catch now that went completely over your head before. It's very similar. And so sometimes it's actually better to go in knowing nothing than it is to go in and be so easily misled. There you go. Or misguided. That's also why trying to force a knowing isn't always helpful or beneficial. Okay. All right. That's good enough. We'll cut it right there. Bottom of the deck. I've been seeing this card as I've been shuffling. The 10 of Cups, followed by the 8 of Cups, followed by the Empress, followed by the Moon, followed by the 9 of Wands in reverse, because apparently there's reversals. All right. Who am I looking for? Looking for the 8 of Pentacles, because the 8 of Pentacles, there it is, as the spider. Excuse me. Strength and the 6 of Swords. Oh, look. The Magician, the World, Mother of Cups, Temperance, and the Hermit, 10 of Swords. But the 4 of Wands and the 9 of Pentacles is behind that 10 of Swords. Anyway, we have the rainbow with the spider. See the rainbows and the spider. Also, there's the sun on this side, and there's a sun in the strength card at the top, right there. Can you see it? Isn't it going to focus? I know you can see it, but yeah, there you go. Now let's look before and after the spider. The magician is at the bottom of the deck. The magician and the world was behind the magician. The magician, the world, and the Mother of Cups. There's the eagle. And the golden egg. I'm gonna fly like an eagle. Do, 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 do. All right. Bottom of the deck is the wolf. And behind that is the sea serpent. Behind the sea serpent, interestingly, is the cosmic egg. This is really interesting. This is the most interesting. It's almost like there's something that the sea serpent is orbiting, but it's actually getting closer and closer. It's like the circle is tightening until it wraps around it like this cosmic egg. And I don't know if there's been like an imperceivable or perceivable barrier that like stopped the sea serpent from getting any closer, or if we are, it might be the second one, or if we're just like unaware of how we're actually closing in on something. And the reason why I lean more towards it being us being unaware of like we're actually getting closer and closer and closer to it, like exactly where we want to be, even though we feel like we may be in a spiral or stuck in a loop or whatever, is because recently I did a reading and there was an energy that came out that was like, it was the one, was that this? I'm pretty sure it was this channel because I've only done one video on the other one. But it was the one where it was like, oh, and the sun is here in the strength card, where it's like we think of the planets as rotating around the sun, almost as if the sun is stationary in space. But the sun is also moving. The entire solar system is moving. So like here's the sun moving, and then here's our thing around it. So if we take a certain inertial frame or physics vantage point or viewpoint, then yeah, we can treat the universe as if the sun is stationary and we continuously revolve around it, but like there's more outside of it. And this has given me that like more outside of it energy. And a long time ago, when I went looking for the Watchers, most of the Watchers were on the other side of the veil. The Watchers were the birds, the owls, specifically the owls in the wild unknown tarot and animal spirits. And only one owl came out like before the veil. The rest of them came out behind it. And the wolf was also there behind the veil, like patiently waiting for a moment, for not a plateau, but a level of growth that we hit, for a realization. Like the wolf was just waiting and watching. I think sometimes too, like spirit has a global, complete, total viewpoint. And ours is smaller in scope just partially because of our egocentrism. But egocentrism meaning that our lived experience is centered around us and it's filtered through us. And either we hear something, we read something, we see something, but we sit at the center of our experience. And so, with that, like, in mind, everything sort of comes from our perspective. But from a non centralized perspective, and again, it's the solar system, like we are a planet in our solar system, or we are a sun of our solar system. And there are suns of other solar systems, and we're all sort of moving. I feel like it's easier if it's atoms, right? We're an atom and we have our nucleus and our electrons buzzing around the nucleus. And there's another atom that has its electrons buzzing around the nucleus. And when they come close enough, there's an atomic interaction. There's a bond that forms. And the grand intelligence source, the divine, the universe, has an understanding of every atom within it. And so it's almost like it knows where best to position us to receive something, or like it's able to not plan meetings. It's able to coordinate things that we don't have an awareness of. It's like, and it's very like fated encounters and very miraculous and all of that. Like, oh, I didn't know that if I turned left this day, I would go to this market where I'd meet this person or see this person. Like, I worked for conferences one summer. I just thought about this maybe a month ago. I worked for conferences one summer, and I was in one of the dorms that I wasn't going to live in or work in when the RAs were moving in, and there was an RA, Ozzy, and he like ordered a fan because it was a non-air conditioned dorm and it was the middle of the summer, and he came to get his package. I was like, yeah, I'll get it for you. And I didn't really talk with him. I didn't really engage with him. Besides, like, I went and got his package. I was like, enjoy the rest of your day. And something in me was like, man, I should have been like nicer to him, or I should have like engaged him in conversation or tried to get to know him a little bit. But I was like, oh, I'll never see him again, so it's fine. It doesn't matter. And then a few years later, no, the next year, I became an RA in that building with him. We were RAs. He was a floor above me. And then at that time, I got to know him, of course. But I was just thinking, maybe just a few weeks ago, on like when I met Ozzy, and I was like, man, I should have been like nicer to him, or like I should have engaged with him more. But I really thought I would never see him again. I thought it didn't matter. And then we ended up being RAs together. How is this relevant? I haven't slept in a while, and it's becoming difficult to maintain the thought. But maybe that's just like the short-sightedness in my own experience, not thinking that I'd ever see him again, because I didn't know that I would apply to be an RA again. I didn't know that I would get it. I didn't know where I would be placed, and I didn't know that he'd still be there. I didn't know anything. Especially at that time, at that moment where I was like, man, I should have like engaged more. I should have been more present in that moment. Now, in that specific example, I got an opportunity later, right? But it's just like the level of things that like it just goes to show that we're so unaware of the things that happen further out. And it feels like there is something that is specifically intentioned so that, like, in this particular scenario, if this resonates as it resonates, this is why the vision, the prayer, and the Father are a hindrance, or this is why they can be. Because if we're so in the moment and like, oh, I'll never do this or I'll never do that, we can completely miss something through short-sightedness. And it's like, it feels like that was just like, it was like for a time, the sea serpent couldn't get any closer. Like there's some unseen, invisible force that's only felt as the sea serpent tries to like hone in on it. But there will come a time where it coils itself around it perfectly, neatly. And it's like there are many points of contact here. Like there's one of the readers at the card shop. She got offered a position at the company I worked for a year ago, and she didn't take it. She was like, I almost took it, but I didn't end up taking it. And I was like, oh, wow. Like, so it was one of those, like, if she would have taken that position, we could have met like at work, but fate or the happenings of things saw us meet at the card shop. It was like either way, like we met each other. We're in each other's lives. You know what I mean? So anyway. But of course, you know, when we're human and when we want things, especially like, and the thing about the prayer is like, there is a certain amount of suck here. I don't want to grab another tea. I should have just filled up my filter when I was in there. It's fine. The thing about the prayer is like, we don't typically pray when everything is fine and we don't need or want anything. And if we do pray in those times, it's probably one that's more of like gratitude and appreciation, and not like, hey, I know like everything is perfect, but you know what would be even better? More. And I think that's where, or this is where, like, if we focus on the negative, or even if we acknowledge it, where it can be more harmful to our manifestation than not. So that's where like avoidance becomes an easier way to manifest. Pretend like you don't see, feel, hear, or experience whatever it is that you're experiencing. Dive deep into Neptunian delusion, and from that place, manifest your dreams. Convince yourself that you're not hungry. And because, like, you convince yourself that you're not hungry, then your body forgets that you're not hungry. And then you manifest food to make that, like, that forced feeling a reality. Does brute force manifestation work for some things? Yeah. But there's such a flow and fluidity to this. And like Uranus is creating a flow and fluidity through something that is like otherwise stagnant, for the purpose of the soil being soft enough to receive a seed. You got to till the land and plow the fields before you can plant the seeds. Anyway. Excuse me. My throat dry. I was going to try to do another one, but this is feeling more and more complete as I go. The unicorn, which is the third eye. Oh, it's the moon. It's the moon. I didn't think I would get a moon because I was like, I'm using the animal cards. Like, I've already used the tarot. I'm not going to get a moon. There's a moon in the unicorn, the spider, and the octopus. The crow is under that. We got the crow and we got the magician. Excuse me. Look at how they're both looking in the same direction. both feet on whatever. And both of these are like emanating. It's like this is emanating darkness. This is emanating light or whatever. Who's behind the crow? The cobra. The reason why I'm excited to see the moon is because of this. The sun behind an animal, the moon behind an animal, and this androgen in between them. With the spider. The spider brought both the sun and the moon. Look at that. There is a rewiring. There's a rewiring neural pathways energy because of the Six of Swords and the octopus. Because of this rainbow, the octopus's brain is lighting up in these like rainbow colors. And it's because I'll be right back. Usually I start with Mucinex, but after I started getting better, like first I was clearing and then the mucus was getting too thick. So I was like, oh, I need Mucinex to thin it to get rid of it. And I took it right before I went live. So now it's all draining, which is great, which is maybe part of the energy. But yeah, there's a neural rewiring happening just because it's like there are things that are happening that we didn't think were possible. Or it's like we didn't know that certain things happening in conjunction, like one thing means one thing, another thing means something else. But when they occur simultaneously or when they're present together, there's something else that happens. Like there's a reaction that produces something different. And we got the magician here. And also the crow. And that's why it's like, oh my gosh, what? It feels like very excited. And because of the rainbow on the web, oh, that's another rainbow. Well, there's a few rainbows. We got the two rainbows and the spider. We get rainbows on both sides. We get spiders on both sides. We get the sun and the moon. And again, like, I don't think I've ever seen that card before. What's also interesting is there's a rainbow in the shards of glass, the stained glass. That's colors of the rainbow under Uranus. And the hand of Uranus is offering this alchemical gold. The hand of Uranus is offering alchemical gold. I don't know if this is them receiving it or if this is like, if these energies are radiating from this alchemical gold. I don't think I said, but behind the shapeshifter and the mother is the self. There's the gold. There's all the colors around it on the outside. This is like very big energy. I'm not surprised, but I'm not necessarily sure where we fall into this. And by that, I mean, like, are we the magician slash the crow? Or is this, or are like the magician and the crow manifestations of external forces? Um, like is that spirit, you know what I mean? Another thing, because I'm going back to how the gold of the magician radiates light while the gold of the crow radiates darkness. And it's the androgen. It's both light and dark. But this isn't, I can't say what it is and I can't say what it is not. For me and my interpretation, how this resonates for me in particular, I don't read dark as shadow or evil or whatever. And it is also interesting. Like, there's a lot of, I mean, it's both. There's like a lot of light and darkness. Excuse me, light on the top, dark on the bottom with the Eight of Pentacles. So maybe that's like how much effort we have to put into finding the light in dark situations, or how much effort it takes to be open and accepting of anything, or not anything. Like it speaks to the amount of work it takes because of the world that we're born into and the tools that we're given and stuff like that. After you like get into the habit of it, it becomes easier because we become more in tune with the subtleties of the universe. And our conversation with the divine grows and deepens to where we see things and we get to know and figure out what it means. Also, again, in the vow, the dove is heading for those new moons, to the open vessels, to vessels that are open and ready to receive the light. A full moon can't take in any more light. But with the spider on the other side, everything is dark. And there's something about allowing this darkness to remain dark, like not needing to take a light in it. Almost like when we get over our fear of the dark, and so we don't have to sleep with the nightlight on anymore. Because we reach the point where we feel safe enough in our knowing that there aren't monsters that are trying to get us. The real monsters, or the real monster, was humanity all along. I'm kidding. That was not necessary. I'm sorry. Well, I felt satisfied in this. So there's also, because of the shapeshifter, because the androgen is both masculine and feminine, light and dark. Also, with these two rainbows, it's like we get color in the sense of light and color in the sense of pigment. There's both. Like white and light is all of the, like white is red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, light all together. But in pigment, black is basically all of the pigments together. Because our eyes pick up light that the material does not. Like the light that refracts off of the, or reflects off of the material, is what our eyes see. So there's also like an understanding of biology, but the understanding of biology being like us understanding how we interact with the world and perceive the world. And that goes back to that egocentric existence, because everything passes through our perception and our experience. As we hear about it, as we get to know it, as we experience it firsthand, it gets passed through our own perspective. And it's not bad. It just is what it is. You know, you're an incarnate being. You're going to have an opinion. You're going to have a vantage point and a viewpoint. We can also be, you know, open or less. But because of the shapeshifter between the mother and the father, it feels like the androgen gets stuck, like mid shift. Like the mother switches to the father, switches to the mother, switches to the father, switches to the mother. And then it's almost like it gets stuck, like it's half mother, half father, but all one being, all one self. And it's like, that's this androgen. It's both. Now, that isn't necessarily indicative of like the androgen. Like it feels like that is communicating how we might feel. Like I was experiencing so much shifting and transforming for the better, and like there was so much momentum, but then it seems like things just like stopped. Like it might feel like we got stuck mid shift, or it might feel like we started hatching out of the egg, but then the shell stopped like falling away. So the sky didn't, like the horizon didn't grow any brighter because there are more and more pieces of the shell falling off. And we're like, whoa, like there's something wrong. Very, very, you are exactly where you need to be when you need to be there. All right. That feels complete. I'm going to get final cards and then I'm going to drink some orange juice. I got orange juice I could have drank. I was like, I don't have any water in the filter, and I don't want to drink more tea. There's orange juice. Oh well. And then I'm gonna go to bed because in a few hours it'll be 24 hours, and I'm not trying to have another one of those. Ooh, crow at the bottom of the deck again. Who's behind the crow? The golden egg and the firefly. There's that golden energy. There's gold in here too. I mean, there's all the colors in there. Whatever this gold is, I don't know if it's alchemical. Maybe we've struck alchemical gold. I wonder how an alchemist's life changes after they create the philosopher's stone or after they learn how to turn metal into gold. It makes me think of the Six of Swords, and it makes me think of that energy of when we feel like we're lost at sea, land becomes a destination. We think that, oh, like once I reach land, like my life is going to improve dramatically. I'm not going to be seasick. I'm not going to have scurvy because oranges and lemons, because lemons and limes don't grow in the middle of the ocean. Like all my problems will be solved as soon as my feet touch the earth. But in reality, it's like, unless you're going to live on the beach and not do anything ever, like once you reach land, that's just the next part of your journey. And again, like it's pulling on this prayer. But when we can find or feel, it's like when we're not as sea stressed, then there's not as much pressure on land being the answer and the solution to every problem. It then becomes easier to disembark from the ship and then go, okay, like we'll rest for a few days at the port. We'll enjoy the pleasures of this in between, and then we will continue our journey on land to wherever we go next. Oh yeah, because the alchemical gold. Like what I wonder how an alchemist like it's like before, like if we are all alchemists, before we know how to transmute anything and everything into gold, before we create the philosopher's stone, it's like that's the end goal, that's the destination. Like you create the gold, you create the philosopher's stone, and then you're done. But in reality, it's like you don't die when that happens. Life goes on. And so there's like, because of all of this gold energy, and then there's the cheetah behind it. Because of all of this gold energy, it's like, well, what comes next? Gold is presenting itself all over. So a card flipped out, face down. Oh, it's the otter. Then you enjoy life. I don't know. Then you relax and you don't stress all the time, and you're not in a state of constant like fear and panic and worry and like this and that. Then you take a break. Then you go golfing. Then you go on vacation. Then you go to the beach. Then you live your life. Then you thrive because you can turn garbage into gold and you don't have to worry about money. You get to see what else life has to offer. The radio's been on at work this week, and I am obsessed with Mona Lisa. I just love how it sounds. Like I love the sounds as the song progresses. Mona Lisa, da da da. I don't know. The Mother of Cups. She was behind the world. It was the Magician, the world, and then the Mother of Cups. Bottom of the deck is the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups was at the cut with the Magician. The Two of Cups in the 1111, oh snap. The Two of Cups in this deck in particular for me is a mirror. So it returns whatever you give it. So here's a Mother of Cups in the dark with all of these stars presenting a cup, or with this Ace of Cups in the wings. And so it's almost like there would be another Mother of Cups or a Father of Cups in the light that is like mirrored. Kind of. I think a mirrored Mother of Cups or a double Mother of Cups, because again, the Two of Cups returns whatever you put into it in this deck for me. It feels like it's us getting as close to the High Priestess as humanly possible. Because the Mother of Cups is already pre-High Priestess, she's already extremely intuitive and empathic and all that. But a double Mother of Cups is even more so. Three of Swords. Here it is. Three of Swords is under the Two of Cups. And then the Six of Cups is under that. But the Three of Swords, because it was the Three of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles. The Three of Swords in this deck in particular for me. One second. Now I gotta clear all this mucus. But it's what I want. I want it to be gone. If I want the mucus to be gone, then it has to get out of my body some way. So I can't begrudge the drainage if I don't want it in me anymore. I'll be right back. See, me embracing the suck is realizing that in order for all the mucus to be gone, this is what I gotta go through. Gratitude is when it's over. Anyway, the Three of Swords in this deck in particular, from me, represents corridors, pathways, potentialities, things that could be our very much so real life that is blocked by heartbreak, trauma. That's blocked by Three of Swords types of things. It's like there are things that we close ourselves off to because of the things that we've been through. And as long as we remain closed off to those things, there are certain things that will never be possible because we won't allow ourselves to receive them. It's not that it can't happen. It's not that it won't happen. It's like it won't happen for us because insert Three of Swords reason. But this energy is the remedy to this energy. This is the openness. This is the mutual receptivity that sees us go beyond what the Three of Swords in its active state kept us from. Excuse me. I'm gonna get the Vicks. And just blast open these. Oh, that's interesting. The riddle. Still at the bottom of the deck. The riddle came out the last time I used this, didn't it? Don't remember why, but I know it came out. I saw that card flip over. I saw the face of the card, but I don't know what it is. The mother is at the bottom of the deck again. By the mother deck set, I said what I said. This time, the creator is behind the mother. And the starborn is under that. The mother creates the starborn. Oh, it's an egg. We saw the golden egg. Interesting. The mother was at the bottom of the archetypes. The magician was at the bottom of the tarot. And they're both one. I saw that. But I didn't mention it. But oh, this is why the mother is the creator now. Or this is why the mother is creating the starborn now. The cards that flipped over, it's the mystic and agape. The mystic with unconditional love. And look at the alignment in that. And it's interesting that the mystic comes out with this energy because the vision was a hindrance. This is the mystic that isn't hindered by their vision or by visions in general. Also, again, like with that double Mother of Cups energy, with the Mother of Cups who goes beyond the Mother of Cups, with the prime Mother of Cups, as close to the High Priestess as a human can get, or closer to the High Priestess. Okay, we ain't gotta be all superlative or whatever. The mystic. But this, like, again, this super connected. Oh, look. There's gold on the wings of this creature. It has gold scales. It just, like, throws gold all over the place, apparently. Cool. Love it. Oh, the Mother of Cups. She's the mystic now. And you can turn the radio down. I'm going to listen to that song. I'm probably going to listen to that song on repeat for like at least the next 4 days I'm off work. Constantly. I love it. Mona Lisa. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-ba-do-ba-do-ba-do-ba-do-ba-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. All of a sudden, I don't own the rights to Dominic Fike. I think that's his name. To Mona Lisa. I love the song so much. I almost want to watch Spider-Man. Just because the song is apparently in it. I actually found my Vicks Vapor Rub in all of the unpacking that I've been doing because I bought some before I left home. And you can't turn the radio. I remember when this deck used to be so hard to shuffle. Look at me now. I guess that's what happens when you use things over and over. Oh my gosh. Am I? No. That was like 5. That was between 5 and 10 cards. That like they got stuck in my hand as I was shuffling. I was like, yeah, no, it's too many. I'm sorry, I can't. I'll give you one guess as to the card that fell out. Do you have your guesses in? If you guessed Rebus, the antigen, you're correct. It fell out. Here it is again. The bottom of the deck is actually a card that I saw a lot when I was shuffling the deck before I started. It is Spiritus Rector, Benevolent Guide, number 57. And this is number 62. Kirsty! Ba. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. It's your birthday today, which means you get stuffy nose and ears and eyes. Birthdays. I can sleep standing up. Nothing stops me from getting sleep, honestly. I can sleep in the middle of the day. I can sleep in noise sometimes. I can be a heavy sleeper. I can also be a light sleeper. I can sleep fully clothed. I can sleep sitting up. I can sleep on the floor. Nothing stops me. No! I'm sorry to hear you've had a terrible day. Hopefully, like tomorrow, will start your best days. And I hope that this brief time that we share together makes your day a little bit brighter. Let me read this. I read this in the book. I got the book and I didn't even read it. The Benevolent Guide. Spiritus Rector. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I am glad to hear it. Oh, my throat's so dry. It's dry. Wait, this is number, 62. LXII. I don't think I've ever seen this card. Rebus or Rebus? The androgen. This is creative transcendence, multiplicity in the artist, because the creator was behind the mother. With the star born behind that. I get it. Oof. I'm almost done. I guess even at work, I haven't necessarily been talking a whole lot. I haven't talked a lot for 2 hours straight. Anyway. The androgen is a deeply revered image in alchemy. Born of Hermes and Aphrodite, Hermaphroditos has been classically depicted as a balanced union of divine masculine, the sun, and divine feminine, the moon. Yet today's alchemist knows the androgen is far more nuanced than that. It encompasses the infinite spectrum and reveals itself in ever-changing non-binary forms. The divine hermaphrodite defies definition as it is a deeply personal, felt experience. It's a deeply personal, felt experience, and that's what I was talking about with the moon being something that like you can more so subtly feel rather than like see. Anyway, it's fine. Um, Accessing this fluid and enlightened state requires us to slip into the contradictory realm of the senses. Excuse me. Oh, yeah, I will. If you want a card, I'll pull one for you. I didn't even think about it. Breath by breath, we are drawn into our limbs, our fluids, our orifices, organs, and cells. We let go of rules and labels. Judgment is suspended. The gods are present, as are the creative mysteries of God. No, as are creative mysteries of the gods. The gods are present, as are the creative mysteries of the underworld. For a brief moment, we hold all of our complexities in one loving form. Like a newborn, we know not our name, gender, age, or location. We are the embodied artists, embraced unconditionally by sun and moon. Embraced unconditionally, agape is unconditional love. The creator was behind the mother, and the starborn was behind the creator, like a newborn. This card has ding, 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 all the way up and down the bottom of the deck that just came out in the Wild Unknown archetypes. See, this, y'all remember what I was saying about Ozzy? When I was like, oh, I should have been nicer to Ozzy, but it doesn't matter. I'll never see him again, ever. And then a year later, we worked together. It's also like when I was an RA, when my residents were moving in, I was nervous. Excuse me. Throat so dry. I was so nervous. And like Ozzy was like, "Oh, this is Patrick. He's good. He's your RA." It was specifically Ozzy. He's like, "Oh, this is Patrick. He's your RA." And I had to tell him, I was like, "Hey, like, can you not do that, please, so I can meet these folks on my terms?" You know what I mean? Like, I'm easing into this. And he was like, "Yeah, it's fine." Like, Ozzy was interesting because like there were a lot of things that I could like my how I am as a person specifically, like excuse me. I'm gonna go get some orange juice to finish this out. I will be right back. Mona Lisa, whoo. Oh, now I gotta sneeze. Orange juice may have just been the thing that my throat needed all along. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't go for orange juice instead of tea. But like I said, I didn't think about it. Okay. So what was I talking about? What was I talking about? What was I talking about? Ozzy. Um, like, I don't know. He was just like, and he would like listen. Like I told him that like one of my biggest pet peeves is please and thank you for some reason. Like I hate when someone assumes that I'm gonna do something for them. Like even if I was going to do it for them, if they approach me with the assumption that I'm gonna do it, I'm like, no. I was going to do this until you took away my choice. And now I choose not to. But anyway, um, and so maybe it's because he said it. He was like, "Hey, can you hold the door, please and thank you?" And then maybe that's why I told him. I was like, "I don't like please and thank you." And he actually remembered that. It was cool. Ozzy's really cool. Anyway, why is this like Ozzy? Because I didn't read the entry. I specifically kept the books out to read them because I was going to read the alchemy at the very least, if not also the archetypes. The card was at the bottom of the deck. The card was obviously extremely significant, and I would have gone this whole video without reading the entry if it didn't come out at the end. But when I did read the entry, it came out after I read the final cards from need more orange juice. My throat was just like drying out. It came out after I read the final card. So after I saw the mother, the creator, and the starboard, there's a significance to that entry now, 2 hours later, because I'm closing this, that I wouldn't have had an hour and a half ago when this card came out. That's why it makes me think of Ozzy. Because when I read it, it was at the right time. I had everything ready. I could have read it at any point. And it was obviously significant. I pulled out 2 more decks because of it. And it kept presenting itself. Well, it was at the bottom of the deck before, and I was going to mention it, but I was like, if it comes back out, I'll talk about it. Because the mother and the father and the shapeshifter were already there. And it didn't fall out, but it was at the bottom of the deck again. There's a certain fluidity. And it mentioned fluidity in the entry. There's a certain fluidity that's important. That the fixed stuckness, the rigidity of the vision and the prayer. Again, it's like it seems so almost counterintuitive or counterproductive to some. For some people, they don't believe in visions and prayer and stuff like that, and hope or excuse me, or whatever. But it's like the energies that you would think would be helping the energy are actually hindering it. Anyway. All right. Did Kirsty want a card? Or no? For Kirsty, I'll power through. I'll power through for Kirsty. I was just going to end the video. But I will power through for you. I will power through for you. I don't know. I don't think I'm as I don't think please and thank you triggers me as much as it used to. But I don't know. I was just like, I was like, ew, no. You're not entitled to anything from me. So you can keep your please and thank you. I was like, you're welcome as the door slams behind me. Anyway. Kirsty going once. Kirsty going twice. Kirsty going thrice. You have my information. Have I ever? Yeah. No. Yes. No. Yeah. No. I don't think I've ever done a personal. Well, I guess like we pulled cards at what's the za place? At the Italian place. I've never like formally done a personal reading for you, I don't think. Why am I surprised by that? I don't know. Anyway, I hope you all have an amazing whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. I hope you an open mind and eye to see the very things that it is that you desire, manifesting in your world in real time. To see the boats and to see the cars, the jeeps, the planes, trains, automobiles, helicopters. And yeah, I didn't end up doing my Celtic cross, but that's fine. Okay, it's time for me to go to bed. Excuse me. Thanks, Holly. I'll do my best. Thank you, Holly and Sandra and Eve and Kathy and Kudua and Kirsty for being here. I don't think I forgot anybody. And I'll catch y'all next time. I'll catch ya. I know I was about to, when I was going live, I was like, I still haven't done the Pick a Prophecy reading. Now, every time I go live and I haven't done it, I was actually going to drink because I actually enjoy Prophecy 3. That one I can actually, like, I would drink it. The first one, absolutely not. The second one, if it was there, maybe. The third one, and I was going to drink a little bit more with my dinner the other night. Excuse me, it was time to drain again. But I was like, no, I got to have some for Pick a Prophecy. It might happen. It might not. I don't know. I actually did. I took a shot of Prophecy 3. And I think the last video I did on this channel, and my audio effed up, everything effed up. I ended up basically deleting the video because it was just too bad. The quality was terrible. Then I was like, oof, well, maybe I shouldn't have went for Prophecy 3. Anyway, I'll catch y'all later. Bye.